Welcome to another video. Welcome to another additive synth video, and possibly the last, at least in the development of this synth. I've now put the source code up on GitHub for anyone who wants to have a go or look at it. I didn't bother making it look too nice, and it was originally done in a bit of a weird way just to try and save space, but then I found a whole heap of space. I didn't really take too much of the code out or rewrite it, but it's there. And of course, it has one more feature. The very last thing that I wanted to put in is in fact a sequencer. So yep, this little tiny synth 6 oscillator additive now has a 48 step sequencer, basically because that's all I could fit in the remaining RAM. Only has 512 bytes of RAM, so 48 steps, but it's got one little trick to it, and that is the sequencer can be split up into 8 note chunks, and you can basically press a button and repeat that one chunk. So I'll just quickly show the new feature, but yeah, mainly this video is to sort of show that this is the little synth pretty much in its final state. So start off. So that's our default sound. Oh, and also, just for fun, this is going into the 2600, and I have not filtered the output, so you'll actually be able to see the noise. So I don't know, depending on how big your screen is, you might be able to see just a little ripple down the bottom. Now that ripple is, I believe it's a 33 kilohertz ripple or something like that. It's basically that's the PWM artifact. So it's not much, and to be honest with you, for example, it's going now. I can't hear it. You can filter it and make it a bit smoother, but I haven't bothered. So in this particular case, it's coming straight out the device. There's probably a little DC filter so that it's actually blocking DC, which in its own right is really a filter, but not like the previous videos where I've actually put it through the ARPS filter. Now the other thing is I have also got the ability to play the ARP at the same time. So for example, that's the additive synth, and I can turn up a slider, which you can't see. Almost in tune. I just have to warm it up. But basically it means I can sort of do things and play the two together. So without further ado, and also just before I'll show, I was messing around because one of the things that additive and FM does is little like mallet piano sounds. So one of the ones I have, which is quite interesting, and I'm just going to turn up the reverb because this particular song. So sort of like a 1980s piano mallet FM type sound, and I think that sounds quite nice. But anyhow, that's just another sound that I've got at the moment. So let's show the new sequencer. So what I did, we basically ran out of lots and lots of buttons, so I've had to repurpose a few things. So let's go to our trusty sort of sawtoothy horn sound. Okay, I want to make a sequence, so something like that. So to start the sequence, the phase button only ever used the first 2 buttons, so I've used the rest of them. Start and stop the current sequence. It's always fun to start it before you've done anything to see what happens. It will protect itself, but you could get some very interesting results. And I also have got start and stop the learning of the sequence, in other words, programming in the sequence. If you want to put a rest in, if you want to hold a note. I will say that I haven't put the hold in yet, just because I just didn't do it. So to start the sequence, short press, and that one. So ready? Now I'll just do the in fact I'll do something which sounds a bit strange to start with, but you'll see why later. There, that'll do. So anyway, I'll stop that and now start off. Now the way the sequencer works is the same as the repeated note. So it uses the LFO. Maybe one future improvement is have a second LFO, but for now, short press, start. See, and it's repeating. Now, it just happens that each one of the normal parts of this is 8 notes. So, if I press this button, when I press it, it will immediately go to that step unless it's already running it. So you see it keeps repeating that 8 notes. The next 8 notes is with this. Now, the buttons here only ever trigger when you let go. So if I press this at any time, it immediately goes to that one. So ready? Halfway through the sequence. See? And I can go back. Now, you might think that's pretty silly, but what you can do is you can play it. So as long as I let go on the last note, it'll seamlessly transition to the other. So if I press and hold and wait for it. Okay. Now if I really want to do it, so let's okay. Now if I was to, whatever's the current repeating one, if you press it again, it stops the repeating, goes back to the whole sequence. So what that means is I can actually, when I get to that third one, I can just go do the whole sequence. So I'll show you again. Ready? Press it again, and it goes back to the beginning one, and then straight to the second one, third one. Okay, stop the sequence. Alright, the other things you can do, obviously it's using the LFO, and the repeated notes had duty cycle, so we also have duty cycle. So let's do something, just a stupid sequence. Ready? So record the sequence. Stop the sequence. Now I play it. Now you can make it faster and slower by changing the LFO. Now if you hopefully remember from the previous video, long press, LFO speed. Actually, that sounds a bit like Pac-Man. Okay. Okay, that's good. What about duty cycle? So how long the note gets held on and off. Okay, that's in the special menu. So special one was pitch LFO, repeating note, duty cycle. Now we're not repeating notes, we're using the sequencer, but I can still say hold. So hopefully you can hear it's a short note. I can twist it round. Basically very little, so you can choose the duty cycle. Now you can go back and maybe speed it up a bit. So this one and that one, long press. I've got to cancel that one first. Now that's the other thing with the new thing, you have to actually cancel it. So I was going straight to it. Okay. Stop. Now the other thing you can do, or one last thing, is what happens if you wanted to put this into your system and you wanted to control it from something else? Well, what you can also do is run the sequencer off the gate. Now, because we ran out of buttons, simple thing is, if you hold the note down and start the sequencer, now, any different ways you can think about doing this, but let's start the sequencer. Now each note I press, so you can see I'm pressing the same note. Doesn't matter what note I press. Okay, sequence off. So there you are. Now the other thing is, just for size constraint, the sequencer doesn't play unquantized notes. In other words, all the notes are quantized. So if you want to actually sequence what it sounds like, because it can be slightly different tuning, make sure that your sound starts off as quantized, because what it will do is it will take the quantized note and store it, because there are far fewer quantized notes. There are 1,023 unquantized, and or basically 12 quantized semitones and an octave. So for octave goes from 0 to 5. So basically, to make it smaller, the sequences are just quantized. Anyway, that's really it. The main purpose of this video was to sort of announce that the code is now on GitHub. The address, or the GitHub page, will be in the comments below. Feel free to use it. I did put it as a GPL3. Basically, you can use it yourself. If you want to put any patches in, push them up. Main thing is, if you're going to make millions of dollars out of it, just give me a yell. I wouldn't mind that. But no, it's this. I just did this for fun, so hopefully it can give other people a bit of fun, or at least be something that you can, well, make your own. See how it's done. All right, that's it really. If you've been watching, thank you. And it's been a little bit of a process. I don't know. I think this is either the 6th or the 7th video. If anyone has any questions, like how do you do a sound, I've amazed myself over and over again at just the sounds that this simple little synth can make. You know, like the chiming sounds, you know. And you're hearing exactly what I hear. The microphone's just going, it's basically near the speaker of this piano. And again, the one I played in the beginning, so that mallet electric piano. Turn that on. You know, you heard the horn one. There's that sort of weird Hammond organ. What else have I got? The clarinet. Well, in fact, one more. Just before I go, just to show. It actually makes quite a good flute sound. Now you can start the flute from a trumpety sound, and basically a flute in its upper registers is only the first 3 harmonics. So harmonics 4, 5 and 6 we want to cancel. So what we'll do is we'll go oscillator 4, volume, and we're going to use the pot now. So if you look, there you go, we got no oscillator 4. So when I say cancel, I'll set that value. Okay, and I want 5. And the pot's already there, so I know it's there. So I can say use that as well. Oscillator 6, set the volume. I'm already using the pot, so there you go. There's just the first 3. Now the next thing is the volume of the second and third is about half normal. So the second one, instead of being a half, the third one a third, you're going to make it a fourth and a sixth. So 2, 4, 3, 6. There's our flute sound. So let's crank the reverb up. We're in a big church. We go. Now, as I said before, no filtering of the signal. If you've got a big screen, you'll be able to see the little ripple there. I can't hear it because I can't hear it. Yeah, probably 16 kilohertz. Somebody might be able to, but I can't. Anyway, but this is a That's the flute sound from the little additive synth, and that's how easy it is to change things around. No filters, no anything, just envelopes, volumes, and oscillators. Yeah, I'll stop it on that note. So again, thanks for watching. Hopefully this will be of use to someone doing their own project. Put something in the comments, or leave it on the GitHub page if you want to ask some questions. I tried to do a good readme. Hopefully it'll mean that you can create your own board. And that's it, really. Okay, thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.